Now, here we have an additional thing. We have an amplitude, we have a period, but we also have a phase shift, and we could include something else called a vertical shift. So I'm going to write it here, vertical shift. So as you know, the amplitude is simply your A. And A is the number that's multiplying either the sine or the cosine. Right now we're working with sine, so A right here is equal to 4. So that means that we're going to be dealing with a graph having an amplitude of 4. And the amplitude is always equal to the absolute value of A. So every time you get a negative value, it just means that it's going to be reflected, but the amplitude will still be positive. So the absolute value of 4, and the amplitude will be 4. The period. So the period is based on the K value. In this case, if you notice, the K is either out here or it can also be inside. So you could also have y equals a sine of kx minus, we could write kb or b, depends on how you're approaching your problem. But just look at what is the value multiplying the x. In this case, if you take a closer look, the x is being multiplied by a 1. So that means that the period is going to be 2 pi over k. And if k happens to be 1, the period will be exactly the same. You're going to end up with 2 pi over 1, ending up as 2 pi. If you had something else here, let's say a 2, you would have 2 pi over 2. Now, in order to get the phase shift, you need to do one of two things. You can either factor the 1, so have it as -2. Let me write that again. -2 plus, or I actually like to write it as 4 times the sine of, and in this particular case, you could factor the 1 to have it as 1 that multiplies x plus pi over 3. In this case, it doesn't do pretty much anything. And in order to get your phase shift, you're going to solve for x, either here or here. Either way, you'll get your phase shift. So take whatever's inside of the parentheses and solve for x. In this particular case, we have x plus pi over 3. That's equal to, let's say, 0, to have it as the initial value that we have here. And we're going to solve for x, and x is equal to minus pi over 3. So it's very important that you remember whenever this value is positive, it shifts to the left, and whenever the value is negative, it will go shift to the right. So in this particular case, it's going to shift to the left, and that's represented by the negative value here. So the phase shift is going to be minus pi over 3, and your vertical shift is already there. It's going to be -2.